So you're a fundamental trader. You're a long bear. Your QBTS goes to $50. The point is it's going back to 10. That's the point.
It's going back to 1. Right? It's going back to 0.
It doesn't matter, but that's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, it'll go back to 0, yes.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is from day one, from when this started, I have called this new capital cycle with T, and this capital cycle had nothing to do with fundamentals and $0 revenue.
That's where I disagree.
Was not getting a fucking reactor until 2030.
I disagree on that.
Let me finish, please. What you like to do is what you're good at is telling people, okay, why this stock is no good and giving the reasoning behind the bear thesis.
Yes.
That's where you excel and that's where you're good at.
Correct.
What I like to do and what I'm real good at is I like to frame the entire capital cycle and where all the money is going to go to. Now, there's going to be some pickers on where that money is going to go to that's going to make absolutely no sense, like IONQ, QBTS, and all these other tickets. But at the end of the day, that's where the capital cycle goes, and I like to be first in the trade, period, end of story, and this is why I frame it the way I do.
Sure.
If the company has $1 revenue or $1 billion revenue,
let me just jump in.
To be honest with you, bruv, I can get that's not the trade.
Well, let me jump in.
I'm not going long, and I'm going to stay long until 20.
Well, let me respond. Let me respond. So I've been a trader.
That's the two sides of the both coins here.
I mean, listen, I've done.
I'm conceptualizing this as a stock trader. You're talking about it from an engineering standpoint.
Yeah, so
it's completely two different things.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I've done both. I've worked at hedge funds like 𝗕𝗃𝗀𝗘𝗧𝗏 and Intrepid, and had my own fund. And I think that it's important to predict where money's going to go. I think that what I think is happening is that money is chasing risk assets in general. So 𝗥𝗏 has the same chart as quantum, and there's no interest in fundamentals whatsoever. And I think that's evidenced by when I talk to people about fundamentals of the stocks they own, they don't know what the fundamentals are. They just are excited that they have capital and they see a stock going up and they want it to go up more and they want to buy it, and they are getting some great returns. And then inevitably what happens in every cycle, just like the dot-com cycle, just like 2007, they have to figure out what they own and why. And some people are nimble traders. Sounds like you're a very nimble trader, and that's great for you. But many people own these quantum stocks and they think that they are the future. They think that they are going to be long-term winners, that they're actually going to have revenue someday. And if you told these investors, I think 99% of them, if you said, listen, there's never going to be a quantum, $1 billion in revenue. There's never going to be something that, is really big out of this space. It's going to look like Beyond Meat. It's going to look like 3D printing. There may be one winner of any, if any. And I think they would sell all their quantum stocks. And if they knew that for sure, now if they're speculating, they're praying, and they don't know what the difference between running times of algorithms are from running times of the New York Marathon. And I think that, they are doing the same thing, which is playing hot potato. Let me buy the stock. It's been rallying. It's still rallying. I'm going to keep buying it until it stops. And great traders can get in and out and make a fortune. But many people are buying these stocks and thinking that, well, they're just going to be the future. I missed NVIDIA maybe, or AMD's been good to me, so let me find the next AMD. Oh, what's this guy? This is like a different kind of computer. Oh, cool, I'm going to buy it. And they don't realize that these aren't really what they sound like. And they are making the mistake of, most of these people are not traders. They read a Motley Fool website or something like that. And, you probably would sell these stocks if you were long them. If they broke down and they had like a big retracement, you might say, you know what, I'm going to lock in my profit, I'm out, and I'm going to wait and see what happens from the sidelines. And maybe if they break out again, I might buy them again. So, I respect traders who do that, but I think the people that don't know how to do that, or don't have the risk management, they don't have the discipline of selling the loser, right? The hardest thing to do in trading, right? When you buy a stock and it's down 10%, the average Joe doesn't want to sell it. They want to hold it and pray it comes back. You would probably sell it and say, I'll take my loss. Loss is part of trading. It's fine. And you'll have plenty of winners that overcome the occasional loss. I'm right 60% of the time, not 90% of the time. And, I make a living trading and it's fine. But ultimately, a lot of people in the space are in it because I see their tweets. They think that this is going to be the future of computing. They believe the CEO of 𝗓𝗏𝗡, that they believe D-Wave. And, all you have to do is look at D-Wave's income statement. They don't sell this product to anybody. Nobody wants this. And, I feel bad for the people that have bought those dreams. And I think that gaming, when people buy those dreams, is the job of a trader. Your job is to figure out what sector will get hot, and when will the masses get attracted to this random sector that they don't know anything about and jump in, just like they did with biotech in the 90s and dot-coms in the 90s. They jump in, they don't know what it is, and they pray they're catching some runaway freight train. And so they think they maybe got it, and they're really excited. But in general, the average Joe doesn't understand the deep research and the deep fundamentals. They're just hoping to get lucky. And I feel like, it's pretty clear to me that this sector is going nowhere fast. And if they realize that and the capital comes out, again, a good trader will see that happening and will get out. But the poor average Joe is probably going to ride it to zero. And that's kind of what I'm hoping to avoid for some people, if that makes sense.
Right. So basically, based on our trading styles, your target market is different than mine. Okay, your target market is exactly what you just described. My target market are option traders that are.
Well, I don't have a target market. I just trade for myself, and I'm short the stocks. I'm hoping the stocks go down.
When I say target market, I mean your want to help people. Your want to help people.
Anybody who's long.
Average Joe not having it go to zero.
I would say anybody who's long.
My want to help people is guessing the actual where that capital structure is going to go and making short-term gains on options on it, not holding RGTI for 20 years in our portfolios, all the way to like wherever it's going to go. It doesn't matter if it's going to go to, $60. It will go back down eventually, right? Now, if you picked it up for $1, well, then maybe I would think twice. But my point being is we're talking about two different things. So this conversation essentially is going to be continuously ongoing.
No, I like to look at charts and money flow too, but I also think that fundamentals do matter, and that if
they do matter, absolutely, to a point.
However,
we're in a new capital cycle,
okay,
and that's the petro AI capital cycle. In this capital cycle, fundamentals only matter a tenth of a percentage of what they used to. Now it's all about geopolitics, macro, and where that capital money is flowing to. This is why option flow has never been more important than in years. And not only that, gamma and things like that, to watch and where these specific capital cycles are moving to. That's the play. The play is, what's the next RGTI scenario? What's the next quantum sector that's going to be starting to move? I know what that is. Now, whether those tickers that we're going to play that are adjacent to that thesis is has $0 of revenue or $50 billion, like, it doesn't matter. Why? Because that's where the market and the capital is flowing to, and that's what's going to make the trade.
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of people out there that don't trade like that, and they buy stocks that they think are promising. And right now, some of these companies are worth $15 billion or $20 billion, and that's a lot of money. You can buy 10 skyscrapers in New York for $15 billion, and I'd rather have 10 skyscrapers than own Rigetti, which struggling to sell a product. They don't have any revenue. They probably will never have any revenue. And I think a lot of people care if they're buying a stock that has no future. Even if the capital's flowing and all this stuff, if they're inevitably the long term, companies require revenue, they require earnings. There's not too many companies that make it to the S&P 500 with no revenue. And ultimately, what we've seen from 2000 is timing the top of the hype, getting that max euphoria where people are running into these quantum stocks without knowing what they're looking at. And, just no matter what it is, they want to be long. That's the top euphoria. And it's a great time to start shorting because, capital cycles shift fast. Right now we have a very bubblicious environment where lots of trash stocks are trading for huge prices, and that could collapse on itself at any moment. Paul Tudor Jones recently said this reminds him of kind of the very end of the bubble from 2000, and I agree. I mean, it feels like people are taking crazy pills, and chucking at whatever they can at their Robinhood accounts and trying to get a quick gain, and it typically ends really poorly. And I would say that the capital cycle is exhausted, and that we're going to see big drops in these stocks. And again, I could be wrong. Trading is hard, as you know. It's not easy, and I've lost millions of dollars in these stocks and shorting them, and they may continue to go up. But one thing I do know is that they're inevitably going to go to zero, because there's no realness, there's no reality, there's no.
I mean, zero is all a little far-fetched to say that all of them are going to go to zero. Even you know that.
No, I think they will. I mean, just like all.
All of them.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't.
QB
zero include a big boy going in there and just using their muscle just to buy them just for the intellectual property and dissolving the company. Does that include going to zero?
Yeah, I talked to all those guys. QBTS and QUBT are just completely fraudulent. Like those guys are going to jail. IonQ, I think their CEOs also go to jail. Rigetti, the CEO's told you that it's a science experiment. He literally says, we don't have any revenue, we never will. Don't buy our stock, and people are still buying it. So we're just in a crazy.
Yeah, he literally said, "Don't buy our stock." A CEO of a publicly traded company
He is strongly.
I highly fucking doubt that, bro.
He strongly implied that he has no clue why the stock is up like that, and that there's no revenue in this space. And anybody saying there's revenue in the space is crazy. That he has said exactly. But the implication is this guy was at $1 share, about to go bankrupt. And he's looking at his stock, it's now $45, and nothing has changed. Not a single thing has changed. And he's scratching his head. That's my interpretation. And, he sounds, like when he does these interviews, he's not like the other three CEOs, because I don't think he wants to go to jail. IonQ is saying he's the next NVIDIA. That's a pretty dangerous game to play as a publicly traded CEO. The Rigetti guy is really honest. He's like, look, I'm glad we see all this enthusiasm. I'm happy our stock is up 45x for no reason, but don't expect any revenue from us in the near term. He said that exactly. So I think that, the 4 publicly traded quantum stocks are all going to zero. I don't think there's any value in any of these companies. IonQ has tried hard to pivot by using their stock to buy other companies.
You're basing your value upon something that goes against the entire grain of every CEO's blood, and that is not evangelizing about your own company. As a CEO of a publicly traded company, let alone the CEO of any fucking company, your number one prerogative is to sell that company.
I don't think so. I think you get.
Yes, it is.
I've been a publicly traded CEO.
You need to be the best sales guy of the company.
Okay,
no CEO.
Of the two of us, what?
Anywhere, especially from a publicly traded company.
Of the two of us,
not buy my stock.
Of the two of us, one of us has been a publicly traded CEO, and I think that investors want honesty and integrity. They don't want hype. They want a straight shooter who tells the truth when they do well and when they're doing poorly. A guy who's just blowing smoke all the time, that's not a CEO people like. I mean, from my institutional experience, I don't like it if a CEO's lying to me. In fact, I usually...
Absolutely. You want a CEO that can deliver. Well, okay. And what he's doing is delivering on the timelines of what the general consensus is. What I've already told you is...
Well, I just mentioned...
He never said, don't buy my stock.
He actually...
That right there is literally him killing his job if he ever said that. And if you used to be a CEO of a publicly traded company, for you not to know that is incroyable.
No, it's not. It's you have to be realistic with the market. If you tell lies.
I'm gonna throw you a little bone, okay? I'm gonna give you the next IonQ RGTI and the next QUBT capital cycle. How's that sound? And this is gonna be a freebie to you.
You're gonna give me a stock pick?
You don't have to play. I'm going to tell you where all that money's going to be going.
Just give me a stock pick. Give me one stock.
You don't have to. I'll give you the entire industry. You don't have to play. I'll give you the entire map. How's that?
Well, just give me one stock. That's all I.
Road the entire way and watch it all live as it happens.
Give me one.
How's that sound?
Give me one stock you like. Yeah.
One stock I like. Come on, man.
Come on. Obviously,
Do you want the bone or not?
Yeah. Give me your long, and I'll tell you whether or not.
This entire conversation has been based upon two different trading styles. Our trading styles do not coincide, and therefore we will never agree about any of the companies that we will ever come across in. And that's a fact. And nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right? To have discussions in like this, and to continuously be able to have discussions
I
like
think
this is great.
It's okay to trade in a way.
All I'm trying to do is show you, right, my ability and how I trade.
Yeah, no, get me wrong, man.
You an entire cycle. You want an RGTI-IONQ cycle run like how we have.
I want to hear your. I don't buy.
I'm not going to give you one ticker. I'm going to give you a cycle. Would you like that? Yes or no?
Okay, no. So what I'm going to explain to you is when I make investments, I love to hear suggestions, but I do my own research and decide whether or not I make the investment. So if you want to give me,
I'm asking you to invest. What I'm asking you to do is listen to the cycle and watch. That's all.
You can pitch me a long idea. I'm fine with that. I just, that's all it is, right? Everybody has an opinion. At the end of the day, you can distill it down to 4 letters that you like, and that's it. Right? I like a stock called 𝗍𝗑𝗍𝗘. That's all. Okay? I think it's going to go up a lot. The Y doesn't matter.
Which one?
𝗍𝗑𝗍𝗘. I've been long the stock. I think it's going to go to 200. That's really it. It's a drug company. I'm pretty well known in the drug industry. That's my specialty. And I think 𝗍𝗑𝗍𝗘 will go to 200 and IonQ is going to go to 5 or 10. And that's, I have longs and I have shorts just like anybody else. So those are my picks. You can give me your picks.
I mean, it wasn't really you mean pick, not picks.
I can give you as many as you want, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to wax about how great.
Yeah, but you're giving me tickers that you think will do well. That's not what I'm saying I'm going to do.
Yeah, I don't need all the bullshit.
Where your cycle is going to move and how it's going to do it and where and the whole intricacies of it. I'm not the difference here.
Quite frankly, I don't think you understand what you're talking about. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to judge you on your results, and your results will speak for themselves.
On my results, then do this. Watch the next capital cycle and how I position it and how it happens. Or like I told you at the very beginning of this conversation, go to Grok and simply ask it regarding my Petro AI thesis.
I think I've gotten enough. I think I have enough of your Petro AI thesis. We talked about it for an hour. But yeah, what's your next big bet? Open Door?
Open Door? No.
I'm kidding.
Powering Intelligence. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, you don't have a stock?
Oh, I have stocks.
Okay.
Tickers that compute energy, like CORZ.
Okay, you like the NeoCloud? CoreWeave? Guys like that?
Intelligence power routing. That's going to be very key.
It's a real big question. I've debated myself whether or not I want to short CoreWeave or long CoreWeave or what. So you like Nebius too, I'm guessing, NBIS?
I like MU, ABGO, Tesla.
Okay, but in terms of this thesis,
this next part of this thesis,
the big winner is the cloud.
It's going to be whoever can compute the energy feedback. So tickers like ABGO, MU, Tesla, Meta, Palantir, the other ones I mentioned.
Yeah, those are all big stocks though, Meta and Vago and Palantir and stuff. Is there a
just why don't you run an analysis on power intelligence and then you'll be able to come up with a ticker. I
mean, I mentioned I know a lot of this.
You gave me 1, I gave you 7.
Yeah, but Meta is not, Meta's a $2 trillion company. I mean, do you really think Meta's gonna go crazy? How much money can I make on Meta?
You'll hit 1,000. How about that?
Yeah, I've been bullish on Meta for a long time. I like the company.
$300 a share is not bad.
But I guess up 50% would be nice. But I think most people want to hear something like a double or more. But I'll take, I guess, CoreWeave as your best one.
Sure. CRWV will be quite instrumental in the next couple of years, in my opinion. And I think that share price will at least double.
Have you heard of the short thesis on this one? It'll be interesting. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. I see both sides, but if I had to, somebody put a gun to my head, I'd probably short it. So we have a wager on the markets on CoreWeave.
ZPTA.
I know this one. They're bankrupt.
So if they're bankrupt, short them.
Well, no, it doesn't even trade. I mean, this company went bankrupt a long time ago. It's not, the company doesn't operate. Nobody works there. It's a dormant company.
There you go. I just gave you one that you won.
Yeah, I mean, I know the people at 𝗓𝗏 considered buying the company out, but it's a dormant company. Nobody works there.
That's my point.
You like that stock?
No.
Okay.
I said look at it.
I've looked at it. I signed a CDA with the company and considered acquiring the whole company.
So is there any other questions that you may have on Petro AI or the thesis?
No, I mean, we'll check back in a year and see if CoreWeave went up or down. Make a friendly bet, that it would be down, and it sounds like you're making the bet that it'll be up, and we'll see how the next 6 to 12 months. We'll just check in periodically, and it was a nice conversation. I appreciate it.
Great. Thanks for attending. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one. I liked it when you started reading off of ChatGPT. Yeah, that was something. It's, bull markets, make anybody sound smart. Seem smart, or think they're smart. Obviously, that guy didn't sound smart. I like the fact that he was willing to read off ChatGPT to me. You remember the time where he was like, he said the thing that AI always says, that's not hype, that's real. That was awesome. ChatGPT read off to me like I'm a little kid. Quantum annealing definition was great, yeah. 𝗏𝗏 is a quantum computing software company that went bankrupt. During the craziness, I considered buying them out.